Good morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are, and welcome to another NerdTube Star Trek episode review. We're here this week talking about Starfleet Academy Season 1, Episode 7, Cozine. We would not be here unless I had my fellow Trekkies in arms. We're joined by Cheeto. How are you, sir?
Orange as ever.
Orange as ever. Lord Donkey, beneath him. How are you, boss?
Pretty good.
Excellent. And
Hello,
below me
everybody.
is Zam. How are you, boss?
I take 2 cozines so I don't fall asleep when I do streams.
He takes 2 cocaines. I mean,
Also
Modify
spot
my
on,
gift.
Vance.
I just want to say that Daniel Vance's comment here about let's see if are my guesses who's on the panel. You are correct, sir. You win an all expense paid trip to Parma. Congratulations.
Parma.
Well,
Daniel
Italy.
Vance, I think, is from Ohio too, so he might know where Parma is.
Oh, yeah. It's mentioned in the first Drew Carey show intro.
Oh, really? Before
Parma
Cleveland rocks?
Moon
Parma
over
rocks.
Parma.
So you're going to go to Italy.
I'm not gonna
Nice.
sing it.
Ooh, go to the Italian Senate. We were just talking about them.
Oh, my. Okay, so we're here talking about this week's episode. We had a bit of a time skip. It's 1 month after the events of our last episode, and it's set around All Worlds Day, which is a sort of holiday, which has led to our students being on a break. And then shenanigans go down at the academy. Meanwhile, Darum and Jaden end up on the Kionian nuptial moon. And we get some
That's
kind
an
of...
interesting thing to have as a world.
It is.
Weddings can only take place on the moon.
Yeah, that's a weird tradition. But it's a good excuse for them to have some character development together and build that relationship between the two of them. Before I keep getting into more specifics, what are our overall thoughts? We'll start with Zam. What were your impressions of this week's episode?
Okay, I got a fair few things I need to quickly get off my chest before I forget. First of all, I when you came to that planet, I thought the direction and whoever was making the episode really didn't do that planet any justice. It seemed that Jaden and Karen? Is that
Darum,
yeah. Like they just seemed to be in the same spot the whole fucking time they were on that planet, just in that like wedding area. Even before the wedding had even started, they just seemed to be there. Like they really didn't give any of that location any fleshing out. It was really poorly executed, in my personal opinion. After that, I expected a slower episode. I genuinely did after what we got last week, and I thought it was going to be really interesting because we were getting people feeling how they felt after losing somebody, like one of their friends died and stuff like that. But because it was a month later, they had enough time to mourn, and we're obviously moving on from that. But I felt an episode like this, when it was more like a slice of life, getting to know our characters a little bit more away from Starfleet and all of that. An episode like that is not warranted in season 1. That's like a season 3 sort of episode where we already get to know our characters. We got to know our characters a fair bit. We know who they are to a degree. And now we're seeing them away from Starfleet and they're doing their own thing. A bit like the episode Family in TNG, which was after Best of Both Worlds, and we saw Picard on the chateau and stuff like that. But by that time we were in season 3, season 4 of TNG, weren't we? I believe.
Yes, season 3.
Yeah, and so
it'd be season 4 because Best of Both Worlds is season 3, episode 26.
Exactly. So we already had a really good knowledge of our characters by that particular time. We're only 7 episodes in on season 1, and we're getting this recess episode, which I don't feel is necessarily warranted. And also, we're getting more tropes as well, which I don't mind. But the wedding trope of, oh, I have to do this wedding ritual. I have to do a ritual of getting married. You know, it's my duty to get married. My God, have they fucking done that shit to death on Star Trek? It's been done so many times, and I'm just absolutely fed up of it. You know what I mean? I really am. Like, to do it again. You know, fucking Billups did it in Lower Deck. Fucking Troy and her mum had to fucking do it, and it's like I think Spock had to do it one particular. Like, I'm just sick to death of these. I have to get married type episodes for the family honor bullshit. I hate it. So I have a lot of gripes with this episode for several reasons, but I want to hear other people's thoughts.
All right, we'll pass it off to Lord Donkey.
Definitely right about the wedding trope. It just felt so abrupt that they just come through and kidnap him with a nugget of gold. I don't know. It could have been better in a later season. I agree. Once it got going, it was okay, but again, like you said, they show the planet that Darum's from. They don't show us anything about the planet, just this little part of the moon. This was definitely a much slower episode. It not a lot happened because we take all this time to go to this moon for the wedding, and then it gets called off and annulled anyway. With the other plot line, same thing. They do the thing, and then it gets reversed. They just get punished, and nothing really happens. So just a tiny bit of development with Caleb and I forget her name on Beta Z.
Tamira.
Yeah. I totally
Tamira.
forgot to even bring up Caleb.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
The main character is the B plot this week.
Right. And when they had that shot looking down on him while he was tanning, tell me he didn't look like an action figure. Like disproportionate, like laying out, sprawled out like that.
Looks like one of the 80s Star Trek comic bits, one of those TNG comic
Yes, it
bits.
looks like ripped Picard. It looked like ripped Picard.
Donkey, I know I've already said a lot so far, but the actor Caleb, he'd absolutely apparently he's more jacked than that. Prior to filming, he had to tone his physique down, and that's what his physique toned down looks like. The guy is absolutely fucking jacked beyond belief.
Oh, he is gorgeous.
He should be in action movies with a physique like that.
He used to be a bodybuilder.
Okay.
Yeah, he used to be.
Used to be. Well, I mean, he looks great when he's just standing up without a shirt, but this, like, looking down that bird's eye view, I just was not a good angle. And every time they say Genesis's name, I think back to the part in Star Trek 3, Genesis. So I really wish her name wasn't Genesis. Also, my husband replicated some Dairy Queen, so I'll be partaking in between speaking. That's all I got for now. Well, it's a peanut buster parfait.
Ooh.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah. Plus, there were some great moments with Jaden, but we'll get into that later.
Yeah, I agree with that statement. Cheetah, what were your overall impressions of this week's installment?
This was definitely a filler episode. But I think this was a good filler episode. As I've said many times in the past, as me and Mage have also said that, we are Dragon Ball fans. We know filler. We know good filler, and we know bad filler.
CW.
And CW, yeah.
Looking at them too.
Yeah. So we know good and bad filler. And honestly, like, I feel like this is good filler. The only problem that I have is that with only a 10 episode run in a season, you don't have a lot of time for filler like this. I think Trek needs filler like this to hash out its characters a little bit. And I think this would have been a great episode if, like, we had 15 episodes, 20 episodes this season to kind of, and honestly, you could have even expanded on, put 2 different episodes out of this one episode. I feel like it was kind of mashed together because, like, well, we've only got 10 episodes. And honestly, I know that it's been going around about, Holly Hunter's salary and Paul Giamatti's salary. It's like, why couldn't you just have like some episodes without them. There were episodes of TNG, DS9 where like the big actors weren't even in the episode. Like one of the big actors was not even in the episode. You know what I mean? Paul Giamatti's in. He's been in how many episodes this season?
2 now.
2. Probably 3 at the end of the season. But
we didn't have the cadet master this episode.
Yeah, she wasn't even
voiceover.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she was voiced over in it. But so I honestly I like this episode. I thought that there was a lot here. I just felt like it was two good, like two decent stories. And I understand the whole like, oh, the forced married trope. The thing that subverted that forced married trope, though, is that 9 times out of 10, when there's like the forced married trope, it's kind of like Spock and Chapel, you know, and to Prang. It's like, oh, there's another person.
Oh yeah,
there's another person they're in love with. No, like I appreciate
the other
this
person is Starfleet.
Yeah, the other person is Starfleet. The other thing is like this person that Jaden was describing is not you. Like this, you know, whatever happened to you when you went there, it's changed you, and for the better. And you know, so like I kind of appreciate how they took that trope and flipped it on its head, in my opinion. So you know, because it wasn't like, oh, he's in love with Jaden, and so she knows that, and now they're annulling the relationship, and it's just like, no, that's not how it was presented. It was presented like Starfleet's the other person, and they actually see that Starfleet is actually good for him, you know. So I don't know, I understand people's gripes with this episode. I'm not saying anybody's wrong. I enjoyed this episode, though. I'm not going to lie.
Where the fuck was his parents?
That is a good point.
Where the fuck was his parents? All this time
we're on the way,
family and shit. Like, yeah, nobody's there. Like most, you know,
Daddy was there.
You know, like hardly any people at this wedding. Like nobody likes the dude.
I mean, he is an asshole. They say that several times throughout the whole episode.
No, he's a little bit less of an asshole now.
Yeah. He's apparently the prince or some shit like that. Like,
no, he was marrying.
He's a former prince, like a certain Andrew.
Once again, like we're doing the Billups thing again. Like, oh my god, like Billups did this shit, you know, in Lower Decks. It's like,
well, no, I think he was marrying a princess, so he was actually marrying into wealth.
Yeah, I know, but it's however you wanted to, you know, show it. It's just, I know you're trying to say it flipped on its head a little bit, but I just feel like we've been there, done it, worn a t-shirt. You know, it's a trope that is so.
We should rank the best ones.
Like you could have a wedding episode without it. Like you know, like when Riker and Troy got married, it just felt like they're getting married. They've known each other for years, and they're falling in love, and now they're getting married. It felt natural, not like, oh, we have to get married. You know, this is the ritual of our customs of our planet, and just like, oh, bollocks. Every fucking alien race seems to be like this. It's just ridiculous.
I mean, it's almost like we've had several races like this, or several nationalities like this on our own planet. You know, and it still kind of happens sometimes.
My grandparents were in an arranged marriage.
Who was an arranged marriage?
My grandparents.
Oh. Mm-hmm. I was in an arranged marriage with ScarJo. She just doesn't know it.
I didn't. Yeah. I missed that one. Yeah, I didn't see that. In the
they
news.
Decided that, Daniel decided to show.
That's fake news, Cheeto.
They decided to show Renault's feet, you know, instead of Holly Hunter's.
I really feel like that this is like this is definitely like Star Trek's like answer to Tarantino. Like they're just like, oh, you want Tarantino? Here's feet. And I love the comment that are you about to talk about the comment, Donkey?
I was going to mention, yeah.
Go ahead. I love this.
Oh, just you got 3 pairs of boots in here, and you never wear shoes. Like
that was
finally
wonderful.
It's been addressed, and she doesn't care.
But that's the thing. I love the fact that they can make fun of themselves. You know what I mean? And this has to be like, because I mean, obviously this was filmed a long time ago, so it's not like they threw this in at the last, unless they like did a dub or something. But like, it's not like they threw it in at the last minute. Like they realize that Holly Hunter is always not wearing shoes, so they probably threw that line in there because they're just like, it's meta, it's funny, let's go for it.
Here you go, Daniel Vance.
When you see certain things like in this show, you think to yourself, wouldn't there be like a futuristic version of that? Like Holly Hunter trying to close her suitcase. I mean, we're like in the year 31,000, like whatever. Like you're telling me they're still using suitcases. Like,
there's a lot of tech discrepancies in Star Trek.
Like, why was there only one transporter that Reno was passing people through?
I think that's more of like a trans warp beaming, like like
they don't even use transporters.
That's a transporter that goes long distance, maybe.
No, but like there's no need for like a transporter room. You just want to transport, just transport. Yeah, I mean, you do it any way you want. I always thought the transport room was stupid, considering you can transport anywhere, literally.
But that's what I mean. But I think people who were going long distances, they need that transporter pad. Like if they're just going from like the atrium to like the classroom, or from the bridge to engineering, like that, I think that kind of stuff you can just do with personal transporters. But like it sounded like people were going either all around the world or even to other planets. It sounded like.
Yeah, well, this all intrigued me. Like, for a start, happy all planet day, everyone. But what intrigued me was that I thought, finally, we're going to see different parts of Earth in the future. Like they mentioned Ibiza, and if you did go to it, I'm glad. You know what? Jaden's really lucky not to have gone to Ibiza. That whole island is full of fucking drunk Brits. But regardless, if
even in the
this is 1,000 years from, even then,
still.
Yeah, but yeah, they could have gone. Sorry, they could have gone to Senegal and stuff like that. I thought, wow, I'm really interested in seeing what Earth was like, but nope, none of that. It was pretty much a bottle episode, I would say, as well.
They could have come to Cleveland. No. Why does she need to pack a suitcase anyway? Couldn't she just replicate clothes where she goes?
Hey,
and then have them turn back into poop?
Energy. Yeah.
No, I mean that's a very fair logistical plot hole point right there.
No, but considering you can actually, put a human being in status with a transporter by not letting them phase in after phasing them out, couldn't you just do that with your clothes? Just have them phasing in transport, and then when I'm ready to take my clothes now and phase them back out again. That's what I would do. Fucking suitcase. That really bugged me. Seeing that suitcase really bugged me.
you could also sit there and say, oh, she's just, she just likes to pack the classical way.
Hold on.
It's stupid, but. Yeah.
Pelia would have had 10 suitcases. So she's half Lanthanite, so she just has the one suitcase.
Yeah. What do we know what the other half of her is? Like she's half Lanthanite. Do we know what the other half is?
I don't think they've mentioned.
I don't know. But did you see Joshua's thing on Facebook? Because apparently
I was going to mention that. Yeah,
like a lot of Starfleet Academy, they're copying the work of fan filmmakers like Joshua, which is
Joshua Irwin from the Avalon universe. To be clear.
Yeah,
check out that.
Well, we got to plug them if we're going to mention them. We got to plug them.
Yeah. Anything on the comments before we start talking about this episode a bit more?
I mean, we've been kind of mentioning them, and I mean, they're on the screen. They can see them.
Like Ake's on the barefoot. Okay, fair enough.
All right, corral us in, man. Get some order here. Order in the court.
Order.
So do we want to talk about the Genesis and Caleb storyline first, or the A plot of Darren and Jaden?
Let's talk about Genesis and thingy.
Genesis.
First,
go
ahead.
No, you talking.
Caleb made the term Dadmiral official.
Yeah,
He called Genesis's father a Dadmiral. Mm-hmm. That's it. That's all I had to contribute. I'll go now.
No, I mean, they make it seem like we're gonna see him this episode, and then we don't.
No, we don't see any.
They were setting up a lot of things this episode that they just did not pay off.
There's only parent we get to see. We don't see Caleb's mum again since she came back. Since we saw her in the pilot, we don't see what's his face's parents when he's getting married. We don't see Dadmiral. Like the only parents we see are the Starfleet guys who represent them as surrogate mums and dads.
The only thing
is that Jaden's parents, all three of them.
Yeah, no, I'm talking this episode.
I know.
All I know is that whoever this admiral is, it better be played by Jeffrey Combs. That's all. I feel like it should be Jeffrey Combs playing.
That would be wonderful.
The Dadmiral.
And his name is just Jeffrey Combs, Admiral Jeffrey Combs.
That Jeffrey Combs. What's Genesis's last name? I don't even know.
Lie.
What is it?
Lie.
Lie.
Like.
Like.
Lied.
Okay. Lied.
By the way, Jaden's boyfriend, he took it all really well, didn't he? Like, yeah, Jaden.
Oh yeah, go on with your planet kidnapping thing.
Yeah, so you just disappeared, but
I'll go get sunburned.
I mean, that he might have been mad when he first got back, but he had already explained what happened. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, he got sunburn and stuff like that. Yeah,
Jaden can take care of the sunburn. Rub aloe.
It is my honor to rub aloe.
You
you bring aloe to my house.
And also like regarding Jaden, I would like him to do a little bit of like some sort of medical treatment on people, because when his boyfriend broke his leg last week, he didn't do shit. He just looked at it like, "Oh, that's bad."
That's going to leave a scar.
Now his boyfriend's got sunburn, like nothing. No, like get the medical triporter out and fucking do nothing.
Boyfriend by saying, "Tough it out." It's the Klingon way.
It is.
Somebody has to acclimate to the other one's culture. I guess it's going to be Kyle.
Go ahead.
I don't want Tilly to show up commanding Disco. I mean, Tilly was like in season 1. Tilly was an ensign or a cadet or whatever she was. Like, in 5-6 years, how is she already?
It's been 800 years.
Har.
Hey, the commander of the what ship was Fraser Crane on in TNG?
You talking about the Bozeman?
Kelsey Grammer, the Bozeman. He got his however many hundreds of years of commission.
That was because of a time jump, but Daniel Van says Tilly is a reverse Kim.
God, she is. She gets ranked up faster than freaking.
Yeah, she'll be captain by the time we see her again.
Kirk in the Kelvin universe.
She'll be captain when we see her again, and when the series ends, she'll be an admiral.
Admiral Tilly,
President of Earth, President of the Federation.
All right.
I would love to see the President of the Federation. I want to see. That's why.
She was good in Disco. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I technically for the President of the Federation, I want more of. I want Archer, like hands down. Star Trek Unity or United or whatever it's going to be called. It's not official, but like Archer was officially the president of the United Federation of Planets. Like eventually, he wasn't the first president, but he was in there, and like I want that show.
I just look at. I think Admiral Vance needs to play a bigger role. You know, like in the show as well. Admiral. He's he was like the guy who felt like he was in charge of Starfleet before Starfleet became unified again by the end of Disco. So I feel like he needs to.
Ooh. The next show will be him running for Starfleet president, and then Admiral Vance will be President Vance.
There's a possibility, but anyway, let's move on.
Could be, yeah. So the Caleb and Genesis plot thread, it mostly revolves around Caleb not being able to bring himself to send a message to Tamira, and Genesis getting recommended for the pre-command track. So Caleb goes to Nala and asking why she didn't get information out of Nusplaka about his mother's location, and then eventually just talks his way out of going on the trip for All World's Day and staying with the surrogate family, and ends up getting to stay at the academy.
Listen, this felt very Harry Potter, like
a little bit. He's going to Voldemort or Dumbledore wanting to stay at the castle.
I don't know why. Like, it started the episode with spring semester, but then they're going on break. I'm like, why wouldn't the episode end with spring semester, like the beginning of spring semester? You know what I mean? Like,
but when did Caleb get a surrogate family? Like, it's a bit like Worf.
I think it was just
a host family. Yeah.
But I just felt like he knew this family, but we didn't. You know, like where did they come from? Like,
I think it was just to give him somewhere to go. Like, I think they wanted him off the ship. They knew it was going to be a problem.
We saw Caleb being like, escaped prisoner, detainee, to being Starfleet, cadet. I was like, where was his family? In between
it's
all
not
of
his
that.
actual family.
No. I know what you mean. I know that, but where was these people? He feels like he knows them. Like, from the sense I got from Caleb, but no, he didn't know them.
Not really. I don't think so. I don't think he'd ever met them. Maybe he read up about them in the month that
All right.
The grassy Starfleet Academy. That's right. So right. Because Nala ends up asking Caleb about Tamira, and Caleb admits to Ake that he hasn't messaged her. He can't bring himself to.
I got DS9 vibes from here, like that, like Pale Moonlight, when like Cisco was making the whole log over the episode, and then he deletes it at the very end. You know what I mean? Like at the very end of every message he tries to send to her, like he deletes it. I don't know. That just that invokes some DS9 Pale Moonlight vibes for me.
Yeah, I
wouldn't know.
Yeah, you wouldn't.
Yeah. Gotta watch it, don't care.
I'm gonna duct tape you to a chair and make you watch it.
Don't threaten Donkey with a bedtime.
Sounds like a great time. Just give me some food and I'm good.
Okay, so Genesis ends up sneaking back onto the academy and comes to Caleb, who, as we mentioned earlier, is sunbathing looking like an action figure in the atrium.
I mean, look, he's swole. I mean, like Triple H, he's giving Triple H a run for his money in his heyday.
If he's not in action movies in the future, I'll be shocked. I'll be absolutely shocked.
Him and Alan Rickton or whatever his name, Richardson or whatever his name is, like
Richardson.
Yeah, the guy who plays Reacher, like he
who?
Reacher.
He played Hawk in Titans.
Yeah, like those two need to be in a movie together, either facing off or teaming up, one of the two.
Okay.
Ooh, you could have one being Batman, and then I don't know, the other one being.
You make a good Blue Beetle, I think. By the way, I know we already got what's his face from Cobra Kai, but he's young enough. He could play a Blue Beetle.
No, I think they need to lean into a little, because he's got a big build. I think because Blue Beetle's always been pretty like slender, like that's the point though, is because it's mostly tech, and he's not like, I don't know. I feel
maybe when he gets a bit older, he could play Ghost Rider.
Or maybe he could just play Batman and
Zam.
Yeah.
That assumes that Nicolas Cage will ever retire.
Well, Nicolas Cage is playing another Marvel character, Spider-Man. So,
dude, I'm excited for that show. Sorry, tangent.
Yeah,
Tangent Station for real.
Yeah.
I mean, this episode really does invoke tangents. I mean,
it does. The whole B plot is like a tangent in and of itself.
I like a good somber episode, but this wasn't it for me, unfortunately.
No, I feel like we needed more of a breather type episode where they kind of retrospect and look inwards a little bit after the loss that they experienced.
Show us the memorial.
By giving us that 1 month time jump, they just said, okay, fine. They finished mourning, now we can move on. It's like, no, it's not right.
You know what? I'm sorry, I'm going to tangent one last time on this comment here from Daniel Vance.
Yay!
Aquaman and Aqualad from like Young Justice, those two would actually be really good as those two. I think Alan Rickman could do a really good job. I don't know how to pronounce.
I keep thinking you're saying Alan
Rickman.
Alan Rickman.
Alan Rickman.
Alan Rickman.
No, that's what I keep hearing when you say the dude's name.
Like he could be Aquaman, and then the Caleb actor could be Black Man or Aqualad. I think that would be a good combo, actually. Okay, anyway, all right, Mage man, why do you let me do this?
Because I'm weak-willed and ineffectual.
Oh,
let's talk about the warp slug.
The warp slug that they unleashed, that was fun, right? Or is it stupid?
Honestly, I thought it was fun. I got Dr. Phlox vibes though, like because
I know, right? In 800 years, the Doctor has gone eccentric and keeps a medical menagerie like Phlox now.
No, but prior to that, we're just going to stick our hand in random goo, liquid, and find out if it's toxic or not. Like, mate, your hand might never come back. You know?
Yeah, I mean that's some middle school stuff, but
it could be dissolved. You could be dissolving your fucking hand the moment.
They'll grow it back. I mean, they've already said
generators are miraculous.
Yeah, I will say in lower decks in the 24th century, they said that they could grow appendages back.
I'm just saying, like, why even take the chance? You know, like, just why stick your hand in some sort of, I don't know. It just seems wrong.
Frontal lobe isn't fully developed yet. They're kids still.
They are pretty dumb. I mean, but they're kids. I mean, they're not children, but they are like young adults. You know what I mean? Like
they're young adults. Yeah.
That's why, like, everybody's like, "Oh, we didn't see anybody's parents in this one." I'm like, except for the wedding, I'm like, why would we see parents? These are young adults. Like, so I think Trek culture was like, well, why don't we see parents, like student teacher conferences? I'm like, they're not kids.
Also, it's not high school.
You can tell none of these people exactly. You can tell none of these people are parents
because
it's
like
university. That's not how parent teacher conferences work in college.
There aren't parent teacher.
No, there's
exactly. That's what I mean.
Sink or swim.
It's fend for yourself.
Daniel
Vance with the sick burn. Get the gel out. Zam got burned.
I don't know who got burned more, Kyle or Zam right
the
there.
Galaxy?
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think, have I stuck my hand in questionable places? We're talking questionable places. Because fingering is not necessarily questionable, but
actual questionable places. Your hand may not come back. Meg, what are you doing? Get us back on track.
So I was about to. This is where Genesis asks about Tamira, and we get the crossover of or intersection of their two kind of emotional plot threads for these two. Then that's when they let out the warp slug and hilarity ensues. They tried to track it down using the slowing freeze beam. And then Jet Reno comes in, directed by Quentin Tarantino with her big toe messed up.
And
yeah.
Isn't she just a treasure?
I love Jet Reno.
She's wonderful. I love Jet Reno.
I'm glad she's in this show.
It's funny because after she sorted her bunion out, she said that she should have studied medicine, and I think it may be all right because in Discovery, her engineering skills kept all those people alive when they were dealing with the Red Angel and all of that shit. When they first saw her, when we were introduced to her, so she's definitely got a medical element to her, regardless of being a very good engineer.
That's true. Okay, where was I? So I
love you too, Daniel Vance.
Daniel Vance is the best. So Laura's fussing at her over the comms. I thought that it was really, really funny. I don't know about you fellas.
I don't understand. Like, what was she fussing at her about? You know what I mean? Like,
being overly worried, overprotective partner.
Yeah, it just seemed a bit forced. I don't know. Like,
it was stupid humor.
Yeah,
she was being how my husband would be if I injured myself.
I mean, as a Klingon Jem'Hadar, she should have just been like, "If you die, it will not be an honorable death."
Hmm.
Some of the comedy in this, I wasn't feeling it.
So,
fair enough. It's not going to land for everybody. I can see it though. I've got that stupid, silly sense of humor, and I kind of got a laugh out of it. But they freeze the slime that would have given them like given them away in the last second. They freeze the slime that would have fallen on Jet. And
I want to know what would have happened.
True, we don't know what would have happened, but
Yeah, I wonder what would have happened.
She would have gotten radioactive slug powers.
Big Nataro and the spin-off.
It's Slug Woman.
Oh. At least it wasn't like Hoshi Sato's slug from that one episode of Enterprise.
Yeah, that basically was dead and nobody wanted to tell her.
Yeah. It's like you brought it off its own planet. You brought it off its home planet and it died. Way to go, Hoshi.
Right?
Oh, did you catch
it? At least it was General Order 1 at that point.
Nope, they hadn't came up with it. So they have this kind of moment, and Caleb admits that he hasn't talked to Terima, and Genesis asks why the hell not, and he explains about Terima seeing his private memories, being scared, and not being able to let somebody in. Kind of bears his soul to her a little bit.
I do like that this crew, like, as I said, I like this episode that the crew is kind of coming together. Like, I think that what's the guy who got married this week? What's his name?
Darum Miami.
Yeah, I think Darum was a bit extreme in the first episode. I don't think they needed to go so hard on the bullying part of him, but still, like, I am glad that like the crew is coming like closer and closer together. You know, Genesis and Kyle or Caleb and and Jaden and Karam and whatever. Like, like they're all kind of starting to come together in their own way, and I kind of like it. So I feel like that's a good. Again, I think this episode was good for all the right reasons. It's not like it just when you have only 10 episodes, you feel like you don't have room for stuff like this.
That's a valid criticism. I can see that. Do either of you other gentlemen have any strong thoughts about that scene?
No, it was just there for a laugh, and I wasn't laughing.
Fair enough. Nothing donkey.
Yeah.
So, moving on, Genesis, we get to the part where Genesis needs to go sit in the captain's chair, and she needs to know if she deserves it, if she earned it on her own, or if it's all because of her dad. And she pulls the Michaela Allenby, like Sam was mentioning earlier from Avalon Universe. And what I remember of that film, this is pretty much that plot point is lifted straight out of that fan film.
No, I'll be honest, I can't remember anything from that film, but I do take Joshua's word regarding them copying his work. I take his word completely. I mean, I know when you say something like that to the masses, which he did on Facebook, then if he was talking shit, then people would call him out for it, and no one
that's
did.
That's why when they start up, the not the new Trek, but like the new Trek studio, like with the new owners of Paramount and everything, like in Skydance and everything like that, they need to hire fan film create like good fan film creators, like Josh.
No, they need to hire proper Star Trek nerds.
Yeah.
Why not both?
Yeah, hire us, Paramount. We will take money from you. We will absolutely take money from you, but we will give you a Trek product.
Yeah,
a good Trek product for sure. So they hack their way onto the bridge and go through the startup sequence. But when Genesis decides to engage the warp core, Caleb decides that this has gone too far and shuts it down. Genesis.
Well, he knew that he knew that he was being played, but he was the one who broke in. Yeah, he broke into the vessel, into the bridge. So yeah, but by doing so, he put himself in jeopardy for doing it.
Absolutely. If there were ever any consequences for Make, he would have been in big trouble.
Mm-hmm.
But so Genesis tries to clandestinely steal that key without Caleb noticing, but like Zam said, he's on to the fact that he's been being played.
Well, I don't understand the key thing. That went above my head a little bit. Can someone explain to me what was all that about?
It's a command
she wanted that
card key. Command key to get access to her application.
she wants to delete her letters of recommendation out of her application, so they can't follow up with them.
Because she feels like because of nepotism or something like that.
Because she forged them.
She altered them and made it and left out key parts where they said that she's motivated by fear.
What? I don't get it. It's so stupid.
I'm probably explaining it poorly.
No. But I'm just trying to understand that. So she forged her documents, and now she wants to forge them again,
or erase them, or return them to their original state. I believe
because she's feeling guilty. I mean,
no, because she knows if they follow up with those referrals,
it wasn't
won't make the command program.
Yeah, it wasn't that she was going she was going to read the references. It's the fact that she was going to follow up with those references, and then she was afraid, and Genesis was afraid that they would be like, I didn't say that in my reference, like I said this, and then she would have been outed for forging her references.
Yeah.
So I just want to quickly say hello to my cousin in Iceland who's watching me on TikTok, right? Watching us on TikTok. Hello, Sal.
Hey, Sal.
Hello on the tickety-tockety.
Please never do that again.
Don't embarrass me in front of my fucking family, man.
What are friends for?
So, yeah. Donkey had to drop out. He's so aghast at that. So it's about that point that Reno walks in on them. Cut to Nala's office where Caleb tries to take blame.
Sorry, Reno, you're in deep shit.
In the deepest of shit, she says. It was a pretty good line.
That was a good line, but part of me thought that Reno would have been cool about it and just dealt with it herself.
No, I'm actually happy that she's, regardless of her being a very, easygoing person and quite emotionless to a degree. I like the fact that doesn't matter. Like, rules are rules. You guys you've overstepped the boundary here. You're fucked. Yeah, I mean, don't let my easygoing demeanor mean that you're gonna get out of this so easily. I like that about her. She didn't. I thought this was good. This was good. I appreciated that.
I mean, it's a massive security risk that you have two cadets on the bridge anyway. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
It says a lot about their lack of security that they were even able to hack their way into the bridge.
Right. If Caleb's able to do it, another race would be able to do it for sure. And what was Genesis even thinking that for trying to bring the ship fully online? Like, were you trying to go somewhere?
No, I think she was trying to distract Caleb so she could make the command key. Like she knew that like he would eventually cave and get distracted, and that at least I'm assuming that's what she thought. And then so she thought she could then take that opportunity to make the command key, but he was already on to her at that point.
Yeah. She's been one of the smarter cadets, and it felt like this was very out of character. She should have known better than to. She should have known that she could have.
Nobody gets more freaked out about getting in trouble with their parents than the smart kid who did well in school.
That's what I was just going to say. I was about to say
act completely different in that instance. You start doing some shit you never do before.
No, but characters like her and Durham, or the fuck his name is, like we haven't had real episodes where we're focusing on them solely. This wasn't like an episode like when we had Jaden's episode, or we had Sam's episode, which was really about them. The wealth was split in this episode. I mean, it was really about 4 different characters, really. Jaden, Darren, Genesis, and Caleb. They were the 4 main features of this episode. So, and for me, like, I don't know Genesis individually because we have never focused on her individually since this show began. And we're only 7 episodes in, and we're supposed to know that she's supposed to be like this to a degree.
That's why I'm saying this episode felt like 2 stories were kind of crammed together.
I just felt like an episode like this needed to come further down the line before we got to this moment, and same with Darren as well.
If we had more episodes, it could come further down the line. But we literally have two episodes left. Wait, no, 3 episodes.
No,
left.
but this style of episode, like we've just joined Starfleet Academy and we're already on break.
Season 1 is going to be a whole year. It's like Harry Potter. It's like one movie was a whole year. So like this, I mean, they've said that each year is going to be, or each season is going to be a year of Starfleet Academy. That's why a lot of people are saying it'll go 3 or 4 years, regardless, because we got to at least get to graduation day.
The actor who plays Jaden's already 30 years old, so he's going to be middle-aged by the time he fucking graduates.
Oh, Lord. So, like I said before, there's kind of a lack of consequences to their actions. They get 200 hours of menial service. She doesn't say labor. But Genesis doesn't get recommended for pre-command.
But so I kind of feel like that's also a pretty big punishment. Like, are they being expelled? No, but at the same time, like, I can kind of see her point of, look, I know you're good. Like, Genesis, I know you're a good kid. You are just blinded by your own, you're blinded by your own, like, I don't want to say ambition, but like determination, like, to do this. And I kind of see that teachable moment that she talks about when she's like, like, I really kind of, it is truly a judgment call. Because if it was just like Caleb doing this, maybe, because he's always a troublemaker. But he's like Kirk, he's brilliant, but he's just, he's an excellent Starfleet officer, but he's just reckless and he uses blind luck to make his way out of situations a lot of times. And even in the Kelvin universe, I think it's perfectly portrayed. When Bruce Greenwood's Pike talks about Kirk, is like he uses blind luck to justify his ability in command, which is very apparent throughout all of Star Trek, all versions of Kirk. So, I really feel like this, I think it definitely was a judgment call. And I think that it was the right one in this instance, because I could say if she was like an ongoing troublemaker, then expelling her, sure. But she's not. She's an exemplary student that just kind of letting her own ambition and drive get in her way. And even fear of her parent, her Admiral dad. I wish there would have been a line where she's like, I know why you're doing this, and I know your dad has you under a lot of pressure, but like, you need to forge your own. That was actually what I was hoping that she would take from this, is you need to let go of him and even she said it earlier in the episode, I need to make sure this is mine. You know what I mean? It's not just my dad's chair. And they kind of didn't lean into that in the takeaway. Yeah. And that's,
we don't know anything about a dad either. Like, when we saw, like, for instance, like with Troy, because we got to see Troy's mum, we kind of got to see Troy's trauma to a degree regarding her mum and her family and stuff like that, because we know, they're so different. I haven't seen Genesis' father yet. We have no fucking idea who this guy is.
I feel like we're gonna see him in like probably the final episode of this season. That's how I feel, but I get it. Like, I'm like, there should have been maybe a conversation between, Ake and maybe her father. You know what I mean? Like, like, I think there should have been an actual like tense standoff with them, like basically being like, look, you need to back off of her. She's a good kid. She's doing what she can, and now she's jeopardizing her whole thing because of you. And I think that Ake needed to bring that, that aspect of her being, being a mentor to even protect the student from their own parents. You know what I mean? Like, because sometimes parents, like the kids at baseball games, sometimes coaches have to guard the kids from their own parents because their parents are just so, like,
caught up in living vicariously through the kid.
Yeah. I don't know.
Daniel made a comment earlier I wanted to get back to. You have to be able to make a perfect copy of the captain's eye to get control of a vessel. Oh, wait. I'm thinking to myself, what's the point of having retina scans if people can just copy your fucking eye anyway? And stuff like that.
That's true.
Just
I mean, you could just make
college.
Jaden, who's had not much medical training at that point, like at least Starfleet medical training, was just able to replicate an eye, and
Would you like a side of eyes with your entree today?
Mm-hmm. I want it with my gawk.
It's a warrior's meal.
Okay, so eventually they wrap up this plot line with Caleb calling and recording the message for Tarima and finally hitting send instead of deleting it. And as he's doing the recording, we see shots of the other students watching the meteor shower.
What is a galactic meteor shower? Like, what?
I don't even know.
Like, what is it? Like, I was trying
an
to
excuse for everybody to be in the atrium so they can do this final shot series.
It just makes it like, can the galaxy see it? Because that's pretty big. If the whole galaxy can see it, but if it's like a meteor shower on Earth, it's like, okay, that's fine. But like, don't.
It was just some random starship decompressing
breaking
their
up in
shuttle
orbit.
bay.
Oh,
being nicer. I was saying they're just decompressing the shuttle bay with random junk.
Kirk standing there and Starfleet having going, my God, Bones, what have I done?
What have we done?
Speaking of Star Trek 3.
Genesis.
So do you guys have anything to say about that kind of aspect of I didn't think so.
No.
So
no.
So the rest of the episode was Jaden and Darren kind of forging their relationship and kind of developing as characters and becoming actual friends instead of just classmates. Donkey, you seem like you want to say something.
The love triangle has fallen apart and Darren was friend zoned.
Yep.
I really enjoyed all the parts with Jaden. I hope it pisses a lot of people off. But they were very subtle about everything. It's not like, we're rubbing it in our faces. Like, Kyle came up behind him with his sunburned face and just gave him an arm around the back, and they were holding hands at the end. Like,
they will, no matter what, no matter how subtle it is, they'll still complain about it. And we know, and you all know who you are.
And I love that for them because that gives them less time to complain about other things.
Jaden, remember, Jaden is a pacifist gay Klingon who wears a dress, or a scant.
Yeah, scant.
Yeah. It's kind of, I don't like that word scant.
I don't like it either.
It's like
he's
skank.
Wearing like leggings.
He's wearing a skank.
You don't need to call it scant.
It's really funny. Yeah, it's really funny. Not Daniel Vance. Rick B's absence here, because this episode
he's still recovering.
This episode is very, very, I'm sorry, it is very like classic TNG filler episode. And like, I know he said, oh, it's so boring. I'm like, really? Because the episode after Best of Both Worlds was also right along these lines. And, you sit there and sing the praises of TNG and all that. So it's very funny how he chooses to, and again, everybody, it's volunteer to be here. Anyone can be here because obviously it's a,
he would have a field day with this one.
No, actually, I don't think he would. I don't think he has a leg to stand on. I think this was more classic Trek than a lot of new Trek is. And I mean, it is. It's one of those kind of those boringish type character driven episodes.
I agree. I agree and I disagree because I think this is classic Trek, but I don't think it's done well.
I disagree. So.
But
anyway, it is his absence speaks volumes. It's almost like he doesn't have any ammunition to come to the fight.
But if you are going on about, like I said, Jaden and I call it Darren, whatever the fuck his name is. Like I said, this planet, man. There's only one place on this planet. And that's the wedding location. No, there's no other part of the planet that exists.
They did the same thing at the Trelane episode of Strange New Worlds, where Spock was with God, fuckface's name. I forget his name. Corby.
Oh,
and
Corby.
they're down on this planet, and they're like just basically that same location the whole time.
I mean, but again, that's a classic Trek trope: is making a set and then just utilizing the shit out of it for an entire episode. I mean, and I'm not saying that they have to do that, but like honestly, that's kind of. I mean, look when they went to Vulcan for what is it, Spock Amok or whatever that episode was, where
Amok time,
yeah, like. They were in the same spot for a lot of the episode. You know what I mean?
I'm just saying that he like that whole area was like the wedding location. They didn't go anywhere else, like into a room where they could have like got changed or whatever and dressed up. No, it's just there. Like you're getting married.
Maybe
there,
they don't believe in rooms on that
there.
planet.
I'm gonna rip my jacket there, and you're gonna sleep here, and it's like it's just everything was the same.
They found the perfect Airbnb with this gorgeous patio with all the tile laid out, and said, "That's it. That's what we're spending half the money for this episode on."
Well, this is also the only planet, by the way, where the aliens don't have American accents. They all sounded British, which makes a change.
That's good.
Yeah, Laura be damned. She has a.
There's probably no oil on that planet. That's why.
Oh,
ha ha ha! Good one. So I feel like the fake abduction. We touched on it a little bit, but Donkey seemed not unimpressed by that use of a trope.
Like he goes down to get the little nugget of gold, and like then he's being kidnapped, and Jaden just so happened to be walking by. Like that, I feel like that could have been done. Also, I thought all the characters went through that portal. I thought I saw that in the trailer, but it was just those two, and like doesn't say, "Oh, by the way," or try to get anyone else. Just hey, it was
the custom, wasn't it? Like we kidnapped the groom.
Yeah,
well, I mean, Donkey. I mean, we've been guilty of this before. I mean,
yeah, that's true.
We were a part of a groomsman party that we might have abducted.
Kidnapped at a movie theater that's now closing.
Oh, I thought it was already closed.
Maybe it is.
You know what would have been a nice touch if what was the name of Jaden's boyfriend? I forgot.
Kyle.
It's just a good basic name, even though he's beta.
It means Kyle. Yeah.
It's Kyle. It means Kyle.
It would have been a nice touch if he was able to be at the wedding as well. That would have been a nice touch.
Yeah.
But they did.
I think they wanted to like manufacture tension though, like because remember Jaden was always trying to leave because he had to get to Kyle. If Kyle was there, then
Jaden would have no motivation to want to leave.
At the very, very end, when they're all getting married now and stuff like that, I think it would have been a nice touch that he was able to join them. Like he instead of like Jaden bringing him there, he himself went there and joined them.
If Kyle was the one who talked Jaden back into giving a speech and helped him with his speech, because Jaden overcame his
fear.
Public speaking fear
really quick. Yeah,
and it was a great little speech.
Man's that he comes back at the right moment and be able to do that present and accounted for.
But I mean, that's the thing. If this wasn't two different two different major plot lines smashed together, we might have gotten more. Yeah, we would have gotten something like that.
Yeah.
I want to call out a continuity error though. So everybody went through that portal at the same, like that same portal, right? So then why did the portal open and then Jaden walked out later on?
Well, he walked in maybe 10, 15 seconds later.
Yeah, but still, why the portal never closed? So then why did the portal open and then Jaden walk through?
Wibbly wobbly, timey wimey.
Oh yeah.
Classic Houdini reason.
You make a great point. That's actually another mark for this episode.
No, I don't think that takes away from the plot. I think that's just a continuity error. Like, I don't think that takes away from the plot of the episode.
No, I agree, but still, you make a good point.
Speaking of Doctor Who, when Caleb pulled his hand out of that jar and his hand started to go translucent, I was like, is he regenerating? And then he just got gigantic ears.
I was to say, did you see a TARDIS in the goop?
No,
everybody's looking for TARDISes now because it was in Strange New Worlds one time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Golden opportunity for it to happen, but
I don't know what all this Doctor Who nonsense you guys are talking about, but I just
the shows keep referencing each other.
Yeah.
What?
I just thought to myself, toxic and stuff like that. But
okay,
I like the fact that I like the fact that Star Trek can reference Doctor Who and know it, and when I say reference it, know it as fiction. Oh yeah, there was this really popular program on Earth called Doctor Who. Same with Star Trek, with Star Wars as well. I will let you know. They know it's fiction, and that's why I always said that the best way to get a legit Star Trek Star Wars crossover is some sort of hologram simulation, something like that. Which goes wrong. And then Emperor Palpatine electrocuting everyone and shit like that.
Unlimited power.
Yeah, like they can make him like Moriarty 2.0.
He starts the star drive, like the warp core.
Yeah.
So yeah, like we mentioned, Jada makes the impassioned speech at the wedding reception, and that convinces Jade or Raimi's bride that she needs to have their wedding annulled and make him abdicate the throne. Rather quick decision making.
That just means she's going to be a good queen. I don't need you.
Good point.
Mm-hmm.
So they end up getting married, and then she told him, "You know what? I know we're married now, but fuck off." Like, I know your real love is Starfleet. I knew we were going to get that as well. By the way, I knew it. Like, it was so predictable. I wish I was some sort of soothsayer or something like that. Is that predictable? Because you could. Yeah.
It was a heavily trope dependent episode. Yeah, I'll give it that.
Which is what, like I said, this is why I have issues with it. There's various things, but yeah, we'll get to that when we mark this shit.
I feel like, well, I'll save it for the end when we give our final thoughts.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, they get back to the academy, and Durham expresses his gratitude to Jaden, and Kyle shows up, and Durham is still kind of an ass to Kyle. And
honestly, I still think that's good though, because it's like, if they were just to become best friends, it kind of wouldn't be that realistic. I feel like he
needs to take time and breathe.
Yeah, because here's my thing is I accept people for who they are and what they are. Like if they're an asshole, like I can accept them for being an asshole. I mean, look, I've known Zam for like 15 years, so I mean,
regarding Darren, I hope I got his name right. I do feel he'll be one of those characters who might get killed off in this show, and he might do it being heroic, because people assume of him being an arsehole. I think he might be
inspired by the Vulcan.
Possibly. Yeah.
Bob.
Oh, and by the way,
for Bobby.
We never saw any of his species in their non-human form.
Yeah, that's a good point Dana Vance brings up.
Well, they just didn't. Again, it's another cost-cutting measure. Like they did it on the moon because they didn't want to put everybody
There's
in prosthetic.
no water here. We have to be in our human disguise.
Yeah, I mean, and again, that's like the Gorn, or not the Gorn, the Breen. Like we know that like Trek has done this for ages, and I'm sorry, if it's good for the goose, it's good for the gander. Like if you can do it back in the 90s and in the 60s as cost-cutting measures, this is the universe they've built, so I'm okay with it. You know what I mean? I'm okay with them revealing their true self in special instances, like the first episode. We'll probably see it one more. It would have been nice to see it at least once in this episode, but like, you know, this is something that Trek has done since the very beginning, and honestly, I'm not that upset about it.
Like the scrolls, yeah, we'll just keep them in human form. Fuck changing them into green guys. It's easy.
Yeah, I mean. Yeah, as I said, it's on par with, if this was a movie, then I'd be more in line with yeah, you need to show aliens, you need to show good high quality prosthetics and or CGI.
Mm-hmm. Like, this is
a TV show.
Like Odo's a shapeshifter. Honestly, there'll be several. It'll be like they'll do a fuck ton of episodes, and the guy didn't do any shapeshifting whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
they didn't want to blow the whole budget.
Yeah. And as I said, that's what Trek has always been. It's all, you know, Trek has always been a victim of cost-cutting measures.
You've had to have a healthy suspension of disbelief
Yep.
to really enjoy it. In most sci-fi, really.
Yeah. I mean, at least Star Trek's tried to put it out there why a lot of races look the same because of the progenitors. You know what I mean? Like, at least they put the effort in to be, and it was a good episode. And they've even revisited it before, even you know, in Discovery. So it's like, they've at least put the effort in to make it seem plausible.
It does bother me sometimes that almost every shot that we see of cadets or people at the academy, they mentioned they've discovered thousands of races, hundreds of races in the 100 years or whatever, and all of them are humanoid with prosthetics or different colors. But where is the like from Orville? Where's the Blob character?
We saw Rock in episode 1.
Where's the character with the vagina in their knee, like there was in Star Trek 6, which Kirk kicked in?
You know, Shatner had to have come up with that idea.
That was definitely a Shatner idea.
Yeah,
like, just kick him in the knee.
Like Shatner will put an extra breast in his movie, but we can't have any non-humanoid aliens. It's just
we call them shenanigans.
Mm-hmm.
So, do we have any other strong final thoughts before we give marks?
So nothing happened to Caleb and Genesis. Like they got away with it.
They got 200 hours of community service, basically. Yeah,
they got away with it.
They got away with it, exactly.
I don't think so. I actually feel like, as I said, I feel like they were taking it for the teachable moment. And I mean, I think that Aki has a soft spot in her heart for Caleb. And I feel like she knew that he was being swindled. Like, you know, like he's even tried to take the blame and she's like, no, it was all me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so the one point that I was going to make overall from this episode is I feel like this episode has been about the journey, not about the outcome. Yes. Like, were there any lasting ramifications from this episode? No. But how many times in Star Trek have there been episodes that are about the journey, not about the outcome? Because at the end of every Trek episode in TOS and even in TNG, a lot of times by the end of the episode, they're either laughing or warping off into the distance and you don't hear about something ever.
Second star to the right.
Yeah,
the status quo is restored.
So not even the status quo. It just harkens back to like the old like Star Trek filler episodes that just really build character. We wouldn't have like characterizations about Worf and about Geordi and about Bashir, and if we didn't have those episodes, like about Miles O'Brien, even when he was on TNG. Like, you think that character of Miles O'Brien got fleshed out because of big overarching narrative episode? No, like those were the filler
episodes.
Yeah, the breather episodes. And my only problem with this episode is that we only have 10 episodes in the season. It's not my problem with the episode. It's my problem with the format of the show and most Star Trek where we only get 10 episodes now. That's Strange New Worlds problem too. It took 3 seasons for us to get a solid Ortegas episode, because there's just not enough room in these seasons to flesh out.
Which was the best episode of season 3, by the way, funnly enough.
Yeah, it really was the best episode of season 3, and that's what I'm saying.
No, but you know, I also want to add that pretty much all of these episodes, you know, are going to be what you would say like it's filler episodes, because if they're character episodes, like the Sam episode, like the Jaden episode, like this episode, those are the fillers now, because these series have an overarching plot, which is the main thing, which was what we saw in last week's episode. That's the main story now, and anything else when it comes to character development, like today's episode, it's filler.
Fair statement for sure.
And don't get me wrong, I don't say that as
an insult.
I'm not saying it's a negative. I'm just just saying it how it is, because it's all overarching plots now. There's nothing episodic anymore. It's episodic. No. It's episodic. Continuation story.
No, I still feel like Strange New Worlds nailed it in season 1, even somewhat in season 2. I just been with my girlfriend. We watched season 1 and 2 of Strange New Worlds, and I still feel like they nailed that in the first 2 seasons of the. I mean, yes, there are, but in season 3 is when they really started doing like the overarching narrative, and that's when Strange New Worlds lost its way. But the first 2 seasons of Strange New Worlds, when they harkened back to that old style of episodic, storytelling.
Yeah, it was still more like a hybrid. I what they did with Lower
I don't even think it was that much of a hybrid. As I said, I've watched it recently. You could skip episodes and you could still be caught up and know.
No, I agree, but yeah, you're right. I agree.
All right, Donkey, anything to add before we mark it?
I mean, I feel like we covered pretty much everything. It's a decent filler, some good moments with some of the side characters, like Reno with her toe, and okay, getting the burn about their not wearing shoes. It felt like both plots did something and then walked it right back. So nothing really happened in this episode. But there were some good moments, so I'm happy with it.
Do you want to go ahead and give it a mark while you have the floor?
I'll give it an 8.
All right, fair enough. I'll pass it to Cousin Cheeto.
I mean, at the end of the day, this episode was a filler, so I really can't give it more than a 7. I did enjoy the episode, but I mean, the criticisms of the episode are valid. Again, I'm not, but I still enjoyed this episode. I'd watch it again. I mean, a 7, I would still watch again. You have to get below a 5 before I'd consider skipping. So I still feel like it was a serviceable episode. I did feel like we got some characterization out of our characters, and there was some, really good things in this episode, I thought. But do I feel like it blew my socks off like last week? Do I feel like it was like one of the best? No, not really. So I'd give it a solid 7.
Fair enough. Zam.
I'm going to be disagreeing with the guys on this one. I like episodes like this when they're done right and they can be very engrossing and all of that. But as I said before, I thought this episode came too soon in this show. This style of episode. This is a season 3 type episode, and we're getting in season 1 where we still don't know who our characters are yet, and so that did feel warranted. I thought some of the camera work, as I said earlier, regarding that planet and just everything seemed to be in the same fucking place all the time. I didn't like. It was easy to pick up on. I didn't like that. I felt they skipped a trick when they gave us a month, a month later, sort of next episode. By doing that, you kind of maybe got rid of some very interesting possible story threads regarding trauma of being in battle so soon in their careers as cadets, losing somebody, which would have been interesting as well. Unfortunately, we hovered over that very early on. This gets a. I'm stuck between a 3 and a 4. To be honest, it's so difficult for me to. I'm not going to be generous. I'm going to give it a 3. Part of me wanted me to give it a 4, but no, I think this is look at the wedding trope, all of these things. This is Star Trek going back to its book of what we done before, and not doing it as good as before, but with before being the prime example of how to do it right, and them not doing it any better, not taking notes and improving on it, but making actually things shitter. So yeah, it gets a 3. I did not appreciate this, what it was trying to do, which has been done before. So yeah, it gets a 3.
All right, fair enough criticisms. I'm gonna give it a 7 as well. I'm kind of basically where Cheeto's at with it. Decent filler, good, what I would call a breather episode, but it ultimately is a filler episode that just serves to build character development and flesh out some of the relationships between our different characters.
Which are good episodes, by the way. As I said, the only problem
is solid. 7's a passing grade.
Well, no, and I mean, like, just that I can't beat home. I'm gonna beat this dead horse that we need more episodes. 10 episodes is not enough. Anyway, sorry.
I agree. I agree. I'm happy to come to a compromise. 12, 15, something along those lines. Yeah. I mean, even 12 with only 2 more, but it's 2 more, which is worth it. Like Discovery was like 13, 14 episodes initially before.
I think 15 actually. I think 15, 16 episodes in their first season,
and they shaved it down.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And then by the end, it was down to 10 episodes. I think the last season. I think the last season was 10 episodes, right? Or 9?
Yeah. And that way things feel kind of rushed because of that, which is a shame.
Well, and I don't mind, like, if you have a story that only needs to be told, like if you have an overarching story, like Discovery season 5, they had a pretty solid overarching story. Yeah, if you need 10 episodes to tell that story and that's it, fine. But that's not how this is. Starfleet Academy is not being presented this way. They're like, we're taking this year of, they're not doing an overarching, that's like Strange New Worlds. I'm like, give it 12, 15 episodes, give it a chance to breathe. You're not telling an overarching story. They need to be more episodic. For those types of shows. And honestly, I feel like this show should be more episodic as well. What's the adventure of the week for our cadets? This is the Magic School Bus in space. What do we, what's the adventure of the week? That's what it should be.
Look, I'm a bit torn. I'll be honest with you. I don't mind episode. I prefer episodic Star Trek overall, but because these guys are in Starfleet and we're watching them grow to a degree, we need to have it a bit of a narrative, so to speak, so we can see their progress. So, but like I said, the hybrid is where I'm at with it, regarding that.
Okay. Well, I want to thank everybody who's joined us tonight. I want to thank my co-hosts, Cheeto, Lord Donkey, and Zam. Thank you so much for being here with us tonight, guys. There's plenty of reasons why you should subscribe to NerdTube. We've got sports entertainment content on top of, sci-fi content and stuff like that. Are we doing SmackDown on Saturday? Probably.
Hopefully, I'll do SmackDown on Saturday. I did finish watching a television series called Steel, and I've reviewed that for the channel. It's on Amazon Prime. It's a heist drama, and well, you want to find out my review, then you gotta check it out. It's on here on NerdTube, as well as a couple of movies I've watched over the last week or so, like Rip, starring Matt Damon and Ben Affleck, and The Wrecking Crew, which is a throwback to 80s buddy cop films. If you like all the Red Heat and 48 Hours and Lethal Weapon, watch The Wrecking Crew. It's a lot better than I thought it would be, and my review for that is also on the channel. Stars Dave Bautista and Jason Momoa.
Oh, okay. So yeah, there's a wide Cheeto.
I just was gonna throw out a quick plug for my gaming channel, Milk Dose Gaming. Right now, I am I'm playing the new Star Trek Voyager game, Across the Unknown. So
any good?
Yeah, it's actually pretty good. I mean, I've just gotten past kind of like where the demo was, but there was definitely improvements from the demo that they put in the main game. But yeah, it's like, so if you guys have a chance, if you want to check that out, like out there, I mean, I'm always looking for more Trekkies to come in my chat and we can talk Trek. But I was playing a little earlier. I might play a little bit later tonight, but in general, like if you look for my YouTube, you can find all my stuff on there. I have several Star Trek playlists, as well as on my Twitch, I play Star Trek content as well as some other stuff. But anyway, so shameless self-plug.
Purchase order confirmed.
That's right. Okay, well, yeah, so check out Miltos Gaming. Definitely subscribe and stick around here on NerdTube because you've been vouching the best social media channel that you've maybe sort of kind of heard of. Live long and prosper.